Hello everybody and welcome back and welcome along, in fact, to the Into the Inklands Lorcana Set Championships hosted by Fanboy 3 alongside Fairfield Social Club. My name is Ben. It's a pleasure to have your company with us here today. We're gearing up and setting up for round 2 of 6 of the Swiss matchups and Swiss portion of the championship. If you missed round 1, or indeed if you want to watch any of the videos from the day's play, including the top cut to 8 matches, then you will be able to find them linked in the playlist below at the top of the description. Also making sure that you subscribe to the official Fanboy 3 YouTube channel as well. But let's get and focus into this game. We've got Jordan on the left of your screen, who's piloting a Ruby Amber list. I have to imagine that that is the wheel faster deck that has come into popularity from set 2, has gained a couple of extra tricks and tools in the Into the Inklands expansion. And Lynn is playing an ink combination that those of us playing Lorcana and those of us that have played since the beginning will know very, very well and familiarly. It is Ruby Amethyst playing for Lynn. Both these players 1-0 going into this round 2. Both won their opening game, which is always a great feeling when you're starting off a day at a major tournament like this. Almost 60 players managed to sign up and play in this event as well. One of the biggest set championships, we're led to believe, in the country as well, which is a massive achievement, a massive testament to the community that the game has put together as well. Looks like we are ready to go. Jordan won the die roll, so looks like they will undoubtedly be going first as we are ready to get underway. A little look into Jordan's hand. I see that there is a little Minnie Mouse that's just been inked away into another one that's going to be allowed to be played. There's a Rapunzel in there as well, 2 Rapunzels in fact. I think there's a Mother Gothel to link off with that Rapunzel, sort of get that combination working to draw some cards from the heel. We'll see if that plays out in the coming turns. We'll start off with Lynn's first turn though, who's going to play a 1-drop Maleficent, not a card that we see too much play of, particularly in Ruby Amethyst lists. The 2-lore quester is in fact going to actually ink away that Mother Gothel and will Teeth of Ambitions against that Maleficent, banishing it with only the 1 health on. And Minnie will quest away for 1 as well. Still opens the door and keeps the door open for Rapunzel on turn 4 to heal that damage off if Lynn doesn't have any rush answers to combat this Minnie. Doesn't look like it on first glimpse of her hand. Chernobog's followers, it looks like, is going to go into the ink. I see a Simba and a Tremaine, which is going to zap away that 1 lore that Jordan quested for the turn before as well. Little similar vein of the Ruby Aladdin card from the first chapter. As we pass the turn over to Jordan, is electing to ink away the Mufasa, which is interesting. Obviously, is a big signal there that that is the strategy and it is the deck core that Jordan is playing, the Ruby Amber Mufasa wheel deck. Anytime that Mufasa gets banished, you flip the top card of your deck, and if it's a character and if it's a glimmer, you are able to play it exerted. Instead, is going to elect to try and take aerial superiority with that evasive Surfer Mini. Importantly, quests for 2 lore as well, so would definitely need an answer of some kind from Lynn's side of the board. I can see he's holding on to a Friends of the other, from the other side for some draw power. A Hey there as well. Going to ink the Friends away instead. Pay 2, and it is going to be that Simba that we saw earlier. 3-lore quester, but is a little bit fragile at just the 1 willpower. So another Teeth of Ambitions here from Jordan could be really, really helpful to deal with it. And we're going to quest up for 1 for Lynn. And pass the turn straight back over. There is that Rapunzel that we thought was going to come down or heal the damage off that was put down earlier from Mickey Mouse, or from Minnie Mouse. There is the Teeth of Ambitions there as well from Jordan. We'll sing the 2 damage onto the Rapunzel because she's all got like 5 willpower. We'll take care of the Simba. And we'll quest back up to 1 as well. That one more that was quested on was, of course, from the Lady Tremaine that was played down a couple of turns ago. So Tremaine, first action for Lynn is going to challenge into the Minnie Mouse, or just get some damage onto it. Of course, with only the 1 strength, Minnie isn't going to be able to take out that Lady Tremaine. And Lynn is going to play Go the Distance. Wow, okay, now this is a really interesting list that Lynn has put together. That's definitely not a card that we see often. Ready a damaged character and draw a card as well. That's a really interesting passage of play and a choice of deck construction there from Lynn, but it's paid off. It's gotten rid of the 1-drop Minnie Mouse. And Lynn is going to pass the turn. I don't believe that she inked that turn either, as we're going to play 4, play a Prince Eric as well. Just heard the explanation there as well, as whenever the Eric gets banished, he gets to essentially take something with it of Jordan's choosing, as Rapunzel and Minnie Mouse both quest up for 2 apiece. And we'll put Lord Jordan into a little bit of a lead here, 5-1 at the moment on the lore counts in game 1 of round 2. A few more traditional Ruby Amethyst sort of options in hand for Lynn. I see the Madame Medusa, I see the Lady Tremaine as well as a Queen of Hearts there, the 2-cost Ruby Russia. And I think there might be a couple of the Mim cards as well at the back of Lynn's hand. The Fox, the Snake, just to name a couple. Of course, that sort of that Mim core has become so strong in Ruby Amethyst decks, particularly in the sort of bounce control lists that you see. Lynn just considering her options here. Gonna elect to ink the Mim Fox. We'll play down the Rush Queen of Hearts. Challenge to do 2 damage into Rapunzel. Is there another Go the Distance in hand? There's not. There's a Snake that will bounce the Queen of Hearts back into hand. Essentially gets 2 free damage onto the Rapunzel. But the problem is that Rapunzel is still on the board, as Jordan will continue to go wider. Plays down a second Eric. I think it's just quest with everything. Wisely, though, is going to hold the Rapunzel back because he knew that Queen of Hearts was back into Lynn's hand. That's smart from Jordan. But I like to just go with the Prince Eric and the evasive Minnie Mouse, which at the moment, on all indications, is pretty much untouchable for Jordan at this stage. No sign of any evasive characters or any way to deal with evasive threats on Lynn's side of the board, at least not just yet. Of course, does have the Medusa and the Tremaine in hand, but not up to 6 lore just yet. The Eric is going to go down, and we'll take the Madame Mim Snake along with it as well, with the effect activating. We're going to go Simba and Hey Hey as the follow-ups before passing over the turn to Jordan, who still represents 6 lore on board. And he's just going to quest all the way up to 15. I think it's pretty much just play 2 more characters on board for Jordan to keep them safe. He's going to sing Teeth instead. Or play down Teeth. Take down the Simba. And pass the turn over to Lynn. Isn't going to be able to deal with a lot of what's going on here. The Rapunzel can be dealt with. That's one thing that she can do. Looks like she drew Shere Khan for turn, which would gain a lore any time that a character gets banished from a challenge. And you can see it looked like 3 ink being exerted here for Shere Khan. Lynn does need to do some challenging, though. I think only 1 ink left for now. Question's going to be, are the cards left in hand inkable, though? Hey will take down the Rapunzel. Hei's effect activates and bounces itself back to hand. And I think to just prolong this game a little bit, you've actually got to ink that Hei, play down the Queen of Hearts, rush into the Eric. She's going to pass the turn. Instead, Jordan almost immediately is going to play down a Hades. Brings back Rapunzel into hand. Quest for 4 up to 19. And I think that probably spells game here as well. I think it would have spelt game either way. I don't really know if there was a way necessarily back here for Lynn, especially with top decking a 3rd Simba. She shows her hand, scoops up, and that will be the end of game 1. Jordan takes it with a pretty convincing mixture there, actually, of aggression and control, and dealing with the sort of smaller threats and glimmers that Lynn played out throughout that game. And it's an interesting list that she's built up here. Feels not necessarily like Ruby Amethyst Control. Certainly isn't playing and doesn't have the cards to necessitate it being Ruby Amethyst Control in its traditional sense. It feels more sort of Ruby Amethyst mid-range, really, with those small high lore questers early game, and then going up into your more traditional control threats that we saw, at least in hand, the Medusas and the Tremaines. Didn't see any Be Prepared, didn't see any Dragon Maleficents, but did see the Mem package being played as well here, so it is kind of, it feels like Ruby Amethyst mid-range, really, from a sort of a typical sense and a literal sense of the term. Jordan quite happy to see those low willpower characters as well, easy to pick off with Teeth and Ambitions, and the high willpower characters that Jordan has as well, as he sends away, and both players send away their mulligans. I think that's a Queen's Castle there that Lynn has drawn in the into the hand from the mulligan, so that'll be our first glimpse of a location in this Into the Inklands set championship. Of course, the new card type that the brand new expansion for Disney Lorcana brought into the game, the locations that passively give you lore as well as some extra other effects if you've got characters that inhabit locations. And we'll see if they're going to be able to have any effect in this game too. Bit of a top-end heavy hand at the moment, it looks like, for Jordan here. I think I see a Maui, a Surfer Stitch as well. As we start with Lynn, and she will begin with a Chernobog's Followers. Will pass the turn. There goes one of those higher lore, those higher ink costing cards. And it's just going to be an ink 1 pass for Jordan. So now Lynn has the opportunity to start to get that kind of aggro side of the mid-rangey strategy going. And she plays down that Simba. Well, quest 1 with the Chernobog's Followers, and he's going to elect not to send it to the discard pile to draw an extra card as well with its effect. There's the turn with Jordan. Inks a Mufasa, plays down a Mother Gothel. Well, ends it into play. Heavily damaged, of course, but it'll be undoubtedly just held back until the 4 ink turn, when Jordan can heal 3 from it with Rapunzel and draw 3 cards as well. So back with Lynn, who represents 4 lore on board at the moment, and will quest with both of them as well, go straight up to 5. And we are going to use the effect of Chernobog's this turn. Draws into another Simba. Not too much. Okay, there's a couple of things inkable in the hand. It's Shere Khan that gets inked, and I think we're going to... Well, we can't go the distance onto the Simba, which has been caught there by Jordan. Is not a damaged character, so that can't be readied up and protected. So instead, Lynn is just going to play down a second one, preparing for the possibility of that exerted Simba to be challenged down by Mother Gothel. Jordan will play a Minnie Mouse on his turn, and we'll sing Teeth and Ambitions there. We'll get rid of the readied Simba, put the 2 damage onto the evasive Mini, and we'll pass the turn straight back over. Interesting spot here that Jordan finds himself in. Hasn't gotten himself off to the sort of explosive start that he did in game 1, but despite the early scoreboard pressure that Lynn is providing, I don't necessarily think this game is quite out of his reach. We're going to quest up, though, with the Simba that remained. And she did play down that Queen's Castle as well. Will gain her 2 lore at the start of her next turn. And if there is a character that's been moved to that location, she will draw a card as well. There is that Rapunzel combo that we were speaking about earlier. Heals up the Mother Gothel, will free the way open for Gothel to challenge into the Simba, get rid of that threat. And then we'll quest up for 2 for Minnie Mouse in the air as well. Turn passed over to Lynn. She gains the 2 lore passively from Queen's Castle. So, where will Lynn go here? We'll play Chernobog's Followers to start. And looking a little dry in terms of inkable cards, actually, at the moment. Going to pay the extra 1 to move into the Queen's Castle. I don't think there's actually any cards that are inkable in hand here for Lynn. Double Tremaine, one of them the 6 cost, the other the 2 cost that we saw in game 1. I couldn't quite see what the 3rd card was, as here goes a Maui. And him and Gothel are going to team up and get rid of the castle. And this is what I meant, and this is what I said about this game not feeling like it's out of reach for Jordan at the moment. Lynn top decks a Be Prepared, which would have been fantastic given this board state, but she's stuck on 4 ink. Quest 1. Banish the Chernobogs, draw a card, finds a 2nd castle. But feel like that at this point that's just going to get challenged straight back down by both the Maui and the Gothel. So I think the better strategy here is actually to ink that castle. Lynn decides not to. She's going to play it. But I feel like that's just an easy double challenge in there, just as it was the turn prior for Jordan's side of the board. And it will be as well. There it goes. Maui and Mother Gothel taking out a 2nd Queen's Castle. I think just slight misplay there from Lynn. And at the moment, it feels like she just needs to get 1 turn closer to Be Prepared. We'll play down a 2nd Rapunzel here for Jordan. We'll heal away the 2 damage that was on that evasive Minnie Mouse, just in case there is any way that Lynn can challenge into evasive characters in her deck. We've not seen it yet. And I have a feeling we might not see it at all with the way that this game is panning out. Inks a 2nd Minnie Mouse evasive as well. We'll quest up for 4, and I think that was a Bodyguard Simba that was played down for Jordan. A really, really wide board state here that he has got a hold of. Lynn inks for the turn. We'll count out how many she's got available to her. I think it's 5. As Jordan counts up how much ink and how much Laurie's going to be able to quest up to next turn. We'll be able to go to 18. Lynn is at 5 ink with no inkables in hand. I think it's a Hydra is that middle card there next to the Be Prepared. Lynn just has to helplessly pass the turn. Draw for Jordan. Is that a Chernabog that he's drawn for turn there? Certainly not a card I was expecting to see in this championships. But I don't think it really is going to matter right now. We'll quest all the way up, as he promised, to 18. And just passes. Says to Lynn, you've either got something that's going to stop me or you don't. You're still 2 ink away from Be Prepared, so I'm not fearful of that. We'll pay 2. Play down the Lady Tremaine. Will sap away 1 law from Jordan. Plays down the Maleficent as well, but there's too much law on board. And Jordan will take the victory. 2-0 win for round 2. Will put Jordan to a 2-0 record as well. Well played from Jordan. Commiserations to Lynn. Well, there's still 4 more rounds of Swiss to play as well, though. Thank you for joining us here on Into the Inklands Set Championship. We hope you've enjoyed, and we will see you in the next one.
I'm so hungry as well.